Greetings fans, hyperfans, and people just lost looking for videos of cats on YouTube. 2014 brought the 30th anniversary of Transformers and a couple of interesting projects, one of which being the fan-built bot, which was a series of questionnaires sent out to Transformers fans, the idea being that over several weeks people would vote on what colour scheme they wanted, what they wanted to transform into, and the end result was this character Windblade, which has gone on to be a very cool IDW comic. She's just turned up in the new Robots in Disguise animated series. So she's kind of an interesting character. Now I didn't put a review of her up because by the time that I had got her, everybody seemed to review her. And everyone kind of came to the same conclusion that while she was a fantastic character, the toy was certainly lacking. I mean, they tried to do some really interesting things in the engineering. I mean, she's got these swiveling VTOL blades. She's actually got a very feminine form. She has a holstered sword which, if it ever does come out, has this gorgeous sort of translucent purple plastic. She turns into a sort of interesting VTOL jet, but she's pretty much hollow all the way through. The wings are peculiar to say the least, and the face sculpt left some people cold. Now this year I have been very lucky to get hold of Iron Factory EX-05 Windsaber, the Miko 4 Iron Titan. Now, Iron Titan is obviously metroplex. Windblade is a city speaker, so in the IDW comics, she is one of the few people that can actually communicate with the city bots. So she is kind of a shrine maiden for Iron Titan. In fact, if I go to the back, there's a really nice duotone picture of her in scale. And actually scale is the thing. This whole figure is pretty much not more than an accessory for last year's Titan class Metroplex. They've gone for sort of very, very heavy Japan type images on the side, running all the way around. The box is actually pretty good quality. Opens up at the top and you get a double clamshell with a single instruction sheet, again looking more as though it should be in Dynasty Warriors than a Transformers toy. Actually, I think that might even be the same typeface. Odd piece of black paper just jammed in the back because it was obviously easier than painting the back of the box black. And inside we have this double clamshell, which is nice and deep and difficult to get hold of. But once we do have it open, we have a very chibi Windblade. The sword, not quite as cool as the Hasbro one. It's not translucent, that's just a solid piece. And Windblade is obviously a lot more simplified. Let me see if I can get her into shot. And focused. So her proportions are a little bit different. Obviously she doesn't have that sort of hollow body problem. She's a little bit less articulated. She has a far more childlike face. She doesn't have the red makeup, which is actually quite a serious part of the character, and makes all those G1 connections back to Face of Ninjika. But let's just have a look at the toy in front of us. So you have lots of ball joints. The head is on a ball joint. The shoulders are on a ball joint, which are slightly hindered by the shoulder pads. So you have to be a little bit more careful about how you pose it. The elbows are, again, ball joints, nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. Hips are on ball joints and the knees are on a turn and a very deep knee, because obviously that goes into the transformation. She still has those rotating VTOL engines. The wings will tilt back slightly, and when you move them up and down, they are on a gear system, so both of them move to the same angle. The back, quite obviously a nose cone, but then again, you had that on the original as well. Now, I bought this from Uncle Billy's Toy Castle on AliExpress, and I probably paid about as much for this as I did for the Hasbro Windblade. If I just go for size comparison, there's her with the Hasbro Windblade, the venerable Seeker mold, and one of the more common Legend class figures. So she is pretty tiny. Now this actually puts her in great scale for Titan class Metroplex, great scale for the Combiner Wars robots like Defensor, but I wanted to get her as a representation of this character where the toy actually stood up to my expectations. Transforming her is absolutely easy. You take her weapon away, twist the head round 180 degrees, flip up the landing gear and push the face into that nose cone. First time I did that, I was a little bit worried because it didn't seem like it was going to match up, but as long as you take that gently, it will sort of work its way in to the molded space for that. Press the wings back, clip the legs together. It's just one tiny little clip there. Bend those completely back so that they fold into the back of the crotch plate, and that you have got most of it done. The arms I'm not so happy with. It's really a case of sort of sticking them out either side and then lining up these tiny little holes on the underarm with pegs on the wings. And then putting the VTOLs to whatever angle you want. She's a nice little plane. The bottom is very much a chopped down robot, although they go to extreme measures to make sure the head is covered. From the top, nowhere near as gappy as the original. But unfortunately, the cool piece of engineering that they used to store the sword on the Hasbro one has not been mirrored here. It could have been oh so easy to just sort of add something there to hold it. Even something there may have worked. But no, if you want to store the vehicle in this mode, you have the fantastic option of using a 5mm peg to clip it like that. Even if they just had two swords in the packet so you could have it a little bit more even, I would have really appreciated that. Means that this is going to sort of have to disappear into box of weapons if I'm not storing her in robot mode. But actually, that vehicle is pretty good. I mean, if I bring in the Hasbro Windblade, the profile's pretty much the same. Colour-wise, this takes far more from the Japanese release, and considering the very sort of kawaii desu artwork that they've given the Japanese release of her, I think that the very chibified form of her robot kind of explains that. Anyway, back to these models. If you complain about there being anything like a gap in the legs, have a look at that gaping hole in the middle of her there. The underside, again, headless robot lady. So you're not really losing out that much. It's purely that sword storage which gives Hasbro's version the slight advantage. But is it really enough to keep you with the official one? A lot of it depends on what it is you're actually collecting. Whilst this may not be the super kick-ass heroine that Meg Scott has been writing about in Combiner Wars and the Windblade series, I think this one is actually a little bit closer to Sarah Stone's art of her. I mean, the fact that she is very chibified, far more girly than the Hasbro release, may put off some people. It may actually be a draw to others. Personally, I think that she is an absolutely adequate representation of Windblade for my collection. I think she'll look absolutely fantastic sitting on the shoulder of Metroplex if I ever manage to get hold of him. And who knows, Repro Label may actually do teeny tiny red tears to stick on her to make her a little bit more comic accurate. Thank you to Uncle Billy for getting this out to me the day he got it in stock. Thank you to you for watching. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. If you're happy with this video, hit like. If you're not, say why in the comments section. Share this with your friends, and until next time, remember, if you're keeping them mint in package, you're not a toy collector, you're a box collector.